No.
Sunday, Sunday, that's not the song. Hey, if you're watching from Australia, it's Monday, Monday. Verdad? Who's watching? Let's see how many people join us. Rythmia is live. Rythmia is live. Sunday, Sunday. Can you hear that? That's not the song. We're on delay. Okay. Internet seems to be better today than it was last week. This is good. I just want to wait until people join in before I go spouting off such wisdom that I have for the world every Sunday. Kenneth, why don't you say hello?
Hello, everybody.
Okay, I want to show everyone your amazing new uniform, Kenneth. So, my friends, look at this handsome devil. Kenneth sporting his amazing new Rythmia uniform. So dapper. Handsome as can be. Look at that smile. My amazing partner in crime here at Rythmia. Yes! Raquel's already online saying hello to both of us. Okay, I'm going to hand the camera back over. Very gently as to not make people car sick at home.
Hey, Rachel.
So awesome. Okay, so Sunday, 2 p.m. Costa Rica time, we are talking cheesecake, kids. And you know what, when I named this Facebook Live that, I wanted to take it back because I really, you know, it kind of has bothered me in the past when people have acknowledged myself and other people as kids. Well, clearly we're not kids. But then I was thinking, you know what, we're all kids at heart and we're making cheesecake, and this was a favorite food of mine growing up. I think it was one of my aunts, maybe it was Aunt Gail, used to make a really awesome, like, legit, original graham cracker crust, gooey cherry cheesecake. Yum. So today we're going to do 3 different versions. Who else has we got watching here? Jody's saying hello. Raquel is watching from Arcata, California. My mom is watching. Cherry Pearson. You can help me out with that. Who in our family makes the best cherry cheesecake? I know you're probably going to say you, because my mom makes pretty mean cherry cheesecake. I haven't eaten it in many, many years, but Mom, let me know who makes... Was it one of the Pearson aunts that they used to make really good cherry cheesecake, or is my memory confused? I love cherry cheesecake. I don't know why I decided to do this topic in particular, but we're going to do 3. We're going to do a kind of standard ingredient version of a cheesecake, but in a different form. Then we're going to do a keto, aka fat-friendly, low-carb version in a non-standard form. And then we're going to do a vegan, non-traditional, not traditional form cheesecake. So none of these are going to be your normal, usual type of cheesecake. We're going to do 3 different versions for everyone's tasting enjoyment. Raquel is saying hi to my mom. Okay, so Terry Pearson, Grandma Pearson, and also Aunt Gail. I was right. So my Grandma Pearson, so my dad's mother, and my Aunt Gail, shout out Aunt Gail, made the cheesecake in the family, so I wasn't too far off. I'm glad that my mom watches this weekly and she can catch me in my fibs and lies when my memory doesn't serve me. So, shall we get started? I think we shall. So we're going to do 3 different types of cheesecakes, and before we get rocking in depth into any of the main, I don't know what that weird arm thing was, into the actual recipes, we're going to do some bit of prep work. So, pineapple juice break. If you've been to Rythmia, or if you've been watching these lives, you know that I am not against sugar. Certain things need sugar. I mean, if we're going to eat desserts, I want to sometimes do like a real legit dessert without any of these sugar substitutes. Like I said, we are going to do a keto one that's going to have some sugar substitutes, but we're going to do a couple of these versions are going to have icing sugar in them, or a version thereof. And I don't know about you guys, but I never keep icing sugar on hand at home. I do here at the hotel for when I'm doing special things like this Facebook Live. But there was this neat little trick that I learned from a chef in Toronto. Just recently he reminded me of it. Chef Jason Parsons. Chef Jason Parsons, who is a chef in Canada. He reminded me of a really great technique. So if you don't have powdered sugar on hand, you can make your own. And I know I've done it in the past here on the Facebook Live by just taking sugar and putting it in the blender, but there's a great little tip that I'm going to show you. So what I've got here is some raw organic cane sugar. This is the only type of sugar that I do use here at Rythmia if I do add sugar, and I don't use a lot of it in any recipes, but this is pretty straight to the source. It's Costa Rican, it's organic, and it's cane sugar. We grow cane sugar here in Costa Rica. It's super local. So I'm gonna throw that into my very dry Vitamix blender here. So we're gonna powder it, and I could just go ahead and powder it, but it might get a little bit cakey and sticking to the side. So the secret ingredient is adding in some cornstarch or any other kind of starch, and that's gonna help with the blending process. It's gonna help make this into a nice billowy, powdery icing sugar at the end of the day. So I'm gonna put that in. I did about 2 cups of sugar to about less than a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And then I'm just gonna put that in my blender. Okay, can I show you something really funny, by the way? Look at my blender. This thing gets used so much that Vitamixes are supposed to have like a little round bit here that you... Is this on here for good? So look at underneath there. This is the actual blade, and it's stuck to my pitcher. So part of my blender is stuck to my pitcher, and I can't take it off. Look at it, doesn't sit straight. Curvita. It's because this thing gets used like... If it traveled miles in a day, thousands, this thing gets used so much in our kitchen. Okay, so I'm just gonna blend this up. Here we go. Starting low. Look at that! Smoking. And we don't have to go very far. Look, you can see the powder starting to come out the top. It's like black, dark, what's it called? Dry ice. Only of the sugar persuasion. What is the matter with me? I can't even talk. Okay, so I'm not gonna take the lid off just yet, but you can see that this has obviously made a nice powder, right, ladies? I got a couple of ladies here watching live. Pretty cool, huh? Who knew? This is like a substitute for dry ice, just make powdered sugar. So we made our own powdered sugar. I'm gonna dump this somewhere. I don't have anywhere to dump it. Do we have a bowl? I have a bowl. Oh, you know what? I forgot 2 things. Tatiana, can you bring me a bowl? Oh wait, never mind. I got a bowl here. No, more important. No bowl. No bowl. But in the freezer, in the congelador grande, en la cocina, hay un postre, en un mold de muffin. Por eso se trae afuera, porfa. Yes. I found so this bowl.
Good Spanish, huh?
Ah, oh yes. Was it any good, Kenneth? Was it even conjugated right, that Spanish?
Very good.
Very good. Look, Ma, look what I've learned living in Costa Rica for 5 years. I can yell things in Spanish. Is my mom teasing me? Oh, Raquel's saying, Meg, that you're talking fast. Am I talking fast? I just get so excited. Get so excited. Love you guys, says Raquel. Hopefully I'll meet you guys in person soon. So I'm getting distracted. Get distracted by the internet. Okay, so I'm trying to set this blender down so it doesn't fall over. I'm gonna pour my sugar now that it's settled. I could have gone a little bit further, but for the sake of television. Because this was that raw sugar, it's a little bit off in color. Oh, perfect. That's for later. Thanks, darling. No, that's it. You're amazing. I'm gonna just put that in there for later. That's some TV magic right there for my little reveal later. But look at this. So we made powdered sugar, just like that. It's a little bit tan in color because the cane sugar is not bleached or anything like refined white sugar is. So we've got that. That's just tip number 1. The next thing we're gonna do, I had 2 prep things I wanted to do. Okay, the other thing is we're gonna make some almond flour. Oh, 2 things. First thing, we're gonna make some graham cracker crumbs. So graham cracker crumbs is not a thing here in Costa Rica. I can't like just go to the grocery store and in the baking aisle find graham cracker crusts. You know, in Canada, and I know you could buy like actual graham cracker crusts that you just have to fill. That's not a thing here. You can't find that. You can't even find like graham cracker crumbs. So I got the closest thing I could find to graham crackers. They taste like them, they smell like them, they look like them. So I'm gonna make my own crumbs. I'm just gonna toss them in my Vitamix. I've got 2 brands here. I thought I'd mix them up. One looks a little bit more grainy than the other one. I'd like to try. Okay. So this is gonna be the base of one of our cheesecakes coming up. Top. Blend that up. And I'm not worried, I've got some sugar powder still in the blender, but it's going to be fine. Graham crackers are sweetened anyway. There we go. if I put a bit more in there. There's just not a lot of volume for blending, but it's working. Hey, bada boom, bada bing, as they say. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. That is something I got from Eastside Mario's, which is a Italian restaurant chain in Canada, and then their commercial. I don't even know if they exist anymore. If they did, free advertising. Eastside Mario's, hey, bada boom, bada bing, was their little jingle. And it's been in my head forever. Nice, right? Catchy. Okay, so there's my, look at this. I don't know why I'm so excited about graham cracker crumbs. So ingredient number 2 prepped. Ingredient number 3 that we need to prep is almond flour. So I've just got some whole almonds here. Same process. Almond flour is super expensive. You can, I mean, nuts are expensive in general, but almonds, buying them whole and making your own powder, I find to be loud motorcycle, more cost effective. And this is going to be the version, our graham crackers in our keto version of a cheesecake. Look at that. Thank you. Magically arrived my bowls that I said I didn't need. Kenneth always knows better. I was like, I don't need bowls, I don't need bowls. And Kenneth's like, bring her some bowls. And now I'm using all the bowls. What would I do without you, Kenneth? All right. There's our almond flour. Just like that. So our 3 ingredients prepped and ready to go. Let's have a little gander over here. Jerry's watching. Mom says, yes, Eastside Mario still exists. There's still one in London. Raquel's telling me, buen español. Thank you. Nuri, we miss you too. Is the blender dying? Yes, Mom, the blender's dying. Yeah. Does it sound so bad? It translates over the internet that the blender is dying. This is one of my old ones. We have 3. We've ordered some parts. Poor little guys, they work. These are our workhorses. Okay, so what shall we do first, Kenneth? Let's do the keto version, so, shall we? So let's start with our almond flour. I'm not gonna measure anything, sorry. So I'm gonna add to the almond flour just some melted butter, and this is gonna be our binding agent. And if you are not familiar with the keto diet, it's a lot of fat in it. It's lots of fat, good fats, not a lot of carbs, non-starchy vegetables, and lean protein. Not nearly as much protein as, say, the Atkins diet or something like that. And the only reason I'm doing this today because we get a lot of people following keto these days, and I get all the time messages from people asking me, can you do more keto stuff? So this is a kind of a play on a keto. So you can substitute this butter. This is just like an organic grass-fed butter. Get your favorite butter. You could use a ghee if you use ghee, which is a clarified butter. I've done a whole Facebook Live on that already. Or you could sub in something like coconut oil if you want. But I'm using the butter today because I love butter. So we're gonna pour that in. Dun, dun, dun. Easy peasy. Oh, I got a spoon here. And then this is gonna be the base for our keto parfaits. What else did I say I wrote down here that I wanted to do? I just want to make sure I'm doing. So I'm going to post these recipes in the comments. I know I always say that and I forget, but I'm actually going to do it, I promise. Okay, so what I decided I was going to do today for this is add in a couple of flavorings. This is a cinnamon, and this is a powdered stevia. So stevia is an all-natural, I hesitate to use that term when you use it in this form because it's clearly a little bit processed, because what stevia is the leaf of a plant, and a leaf of a plant that grows really well in Costa Rica. This is a highly processed version of it. Obviously, it's turned into a white powder. So it's a natural plant food with a really expansive sweetness. So that's what I'm using as my sweetener here in this keto version. So I'm gonna add that into the base, like so. So this is going to be the base of our keto cheesecake. So I'm just stirring that in. And these are all really easy recipes. They're either gonna be, you know, mix it up in a bowl or throw it in a machine, as you'll see. So there is our graham cracker crust. Then for the filling, we're using cream cheese, kids. This is cheesecake. High fat, full fat cream cheese is totally fine on the keto diet. This was a paleo version. We probably wouldn't use this because I don't think paleo at this point includes any sort of dairy products, but this is keto, so we're worried about fat. So this is a full fat cream cheese, delicious, about 2 cups. So from there, what to add that to? What? Who's talking? I don't know what I'm saying. Let's take a little moment here, check over on the Facebook. Marina McKenzie's watching from Canada. Andrew's watching from Australia, so it's Monday where he's watching from. Okay, so I'm gonna pour in some vanilla. And this is just gonna give us some nice natural sweetness. Anytime I do a cheesecake, I like to use vanilla. And I also like to make a little bit of a brightness, so I'm gonna add the zest of a lemon. I'm just gonna give this a quick rinse, which I think I already did. What's that?
That would be a lime?
Nope, it's a lemon.
That is?
Yes, it is, my friend. This is what our lemons look like here. Thank you for pointing that out. So this is, I'm gonna use the zest, so I'm not gonna cut it, but this is what the lemons look like here in Costa Rica. They're green on the outside and look like oranges on the inside.
And this is organic.
And this is organic.
That's why the skin is like that.
Yep, it's a little bit blotchy. It's not the prettiest, but this is organic lemon. That's what they look like here.
Wow, name.
Yep.
I'm glad you showed this time.
Yep. Okay, so then I'm just gonna take my microplane rasp. Oops, helps if I do it with the blade up. So it's, yeah, it looks green like lime, but it's lemon. A little bit of that. I'm not gonna go too crazy because it's pretty potent. I'm gonna put a little bit of the juice in here. This one's not as ripe, so it's pretty green inside still. It's gonna give us the nice tartness that we want. Toss that in there. Just like that. Oof. Don't do that if you ever have paper cuts on your hand. I don't. Okay, and then for my sweetener for this filling, I'm gonna use another form of stevia, and this is a liquid one. So it's the same type of sweetener, but this is a natural liquid one. And I'm using that because this is a liquid filling. I'm gonna put in like 12 drops. So it's gonna really sweeten that up. Yum, yum, yum. Not too sweet. And if you're following the keto diet, you're not really expecting too much sweetness out of anything. Add a tiny bit more. I'm actually gonna add a bit more of my lemon juice. The cream cheese here is not all that tart and tangy like what I'm used to in the North Americas. There's that, our filling, our base. And then for plating, we're gonna make them into little parfaits. So I got 2 glasses here. I'm gonna take a spoon, I've already got one here. I'm gonna drop a little bit of my almond graham cracker base. I'm gonna take a picture of all of these when we're done. So there's our almond flour base. And then I've gone ahead and chopped up some strawberries already. So then start dropping some strawberry layer in. Whoops, that one's gone. Look at that, so pretty. Then, I could use a piping bag for this, but I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna, whoop, whoop. Gotta make that sound effect when you do it. Maybe a little bit more. Whoop, whoop. Maybe add a bit more graham cracker, which isn't really graham cracker tall. I could have saved a bit of the ground almonds dry as a nice little topper, but I didn't. Hindsight's 20/20, right? A couple more of these. Oops. Oh! Oh! Luckily I got more. Dun, 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 dun. Pretty little strawberries in there. fat bomb of the cream cheese. How good does that look, Kenneth? What do you guys think at home?
Delicious.
Jerry, are you still watching? Are you gonna come try it sugar-free? What do you think, Kenneth? Okay, and then we've got strawberry for the top. Make a little. What do you think? How's that look, Kenneth?
Delicious.
Pretty, right? La la la. Dun 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 dun. Cheesecake numero uno. Done and in the books. Gwen is watching. Mariah's saying, sitting by the pool watching this live while it's happening. Oh, I love when people do that. Hey, Mariah! Oh my god, I love it. Gwen, we're making cheesecake. Gwen is watching from Panama. Penny Jane is watching. Denise is watching. Okay. So that's one down. Not too shabby, right? We're going to enjoy that afterwards. We're going to move on to the next one. Oh, I'm walking in a big strawberry mess down here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to make, before we do anything, I'm going to take some more pineapple juice. Next thing, another version, a bit more original in the components. Need another bowl. So, same idea for a filling. We've got a cup. This time I'm doing a bit more of a smaller portion. I've got a cup of regular old cream cheese here, putting into a bowl. I've got about a quarter cup of icing sugar. This is not my homemade stuff. This is pretty traditional as far as ingredients go. A little bit of vanilla. Could do a squeeze of lemon, but I'm not even doing it today. Stir that up. Whoops, make a mess. As I do, always. Such a disaster. Okay. Delicious. This would be really good to do it in a larger portion and actually use a machine for it because it's a little bit chunky. But I'm not going to stress about it. In the essence of time and dishes, I'll show you how easy it is. Then I'm going to take this, and I got myself a little piping bag. Really cheap one I got at the grocery store. Little fancy tip on it. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to roll this down. Open it up enough so that I can get in there with my spoon. And I'm going to scoop some of this goodness in there. Bloop. Bloop. Just enough. Because how we're going to do this is going to make little 2-bite. Will you pass me a plate? Little 2-bite strawberry cheesecake treats. Can you see this plate, Kenneth? There? Okay. So all I'm going to do is what I've done is I'll show you this first. So I have these strawberries that I've washed. And all I did was I cut the end off. So cut the green bit off. Then I cut a bit of this end off, not too much, just so that it will stand, so I can stand it like that. Then you could use a really fine paring knife to scoop out the inside. I didn't have one, but what I did have was a salad dressing nozzle. So I did kind of put that in there. Look at this. And it made a little hole. And then I made the hole bigger. I just want to make a little tube opening here so that I can fill it and pipe inside the cream cheese filling. Fun! So just a little bit of space for a little bit of cream cheese goodness. Like so. Then I take my filling, pipe it in. Whoop. Super hot here, so everything gets a little melty. But look at that. What do you think, Kenneth?
Good to to party with friends. Easy to make. And
Super
quickly.
easy to make. Especially if you got yourself one of these cheap piping bags. And then all we do is we take this ground graham cracker crumbs. Then you get all the flavors of a no-bake cherry cheesecake on one plate. Boom! Cheesecake recipe number 2, Dunsky. What do you think? So easy and so cute, right? So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator so that it firms up a little bit, so that when I'm done this I can do some other ones with some firmer cheese to make them look a little prettier for some pictures. Oh, pretty cool, right? Oh, we lost one. We've lost a soldier. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is the vegan version, which I know a lot of you guys have probably been waiting for. So I need you all wait around and see this version, these 2 versions. But obviously, this is all flexible, and you could alter any of these display ideas and techniques using vegan ingredients. So you could take the recipe for what we're about to do and do it in the parfait, or do something like this with the strawberry. Whoa, my dress just blew up. Marilyn Monroe style. Whee! It's really windy. But as I'm saying, the recipes are interchangeable on how you want to present it. I just wanted to give you guys 3 different options. So, kind of, you want to show this. All of these ingredients. This is all the ingredients here, minus this, for the vegan version. So it's a bit more ingredient heavy. There's a little bit more involved, but it's all really easy. So I'm going to show you how we make the base first. Really easy. And I'm not going to go through the full process here because you guys don't need to see it. It's really, really easy. But for the base, it's just going to be these ingredients here. So for the crust, our version of a raw vegan graham cracker crust is actually going to be made with raisins. Typically I use dates, but as I've mentioned in the past, they're a bit more expensive here, so I substitute raisins a lot of time. Any type of dried fruit, because that's going to be what binds our crust together. And pecans, you could flop that in, swap that out with any nut that you like. I had a lot of pecans on hand, so I'm using pecans today. You could use almonds, walnuts, anything you want. You could sub it out for sunflower seeds if you want to do a nut-free version. So all you do is you throw these into your food processor. So your raisins, your dried fruit, your nut, a bit of vanilla, and a pinch of sea salt. That's it. Then you blend it up. I'm not going to do it. A bada boom, bada bing, and what you end up with is this is the texture that you're going for. So it's like almost like a Play-Doh. And this is the texture I like. It's not really a crumbly base. You could do it a bit more crumbly. I like it this texture because we're going to be freezing it, and I like the way that this texture, when it defrosts, it softens up pretty quickly, so you're not biting into a super hard base. So I used a bit more raisins and blended it up really, 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 combined it really, really well, so all the fats from the nuts released, and it becomes quite pliable. You could do more nuts, less raisins. It's going to make it more crumbly, which is more reminiscent of a graham cracker crust, but this is the way I did it, and this is the way I like to do it. So that's our base. For the filling, it's going to be the rest of these ingredients in the blender. Really, really easy. So for this, it's cashews. This is not the right portions. I'm just showing you guys as an example. I'm actually not even going to put it in the blender. But it's all of this stuff just went into the blender. I'm going to list off the ingredients here. So we've got cashews. You could use, these ones are toasted. I used raw ones that look like, I'll show you. Hold on. Where did I put mine? Here we go. So these are some raw, Canada organic cashews. I have a whole stash of these always at home. Whenever I go to Canada, I stock up. So you can see the difference just in the color alone. So these ones are toasted, no salt or anything, but they're toasted, and these ones are raw. I find for this type of application, the raw ones work better because they just blend, they're softer. Like you eat them, they're different textures. These ones are softer, so they blend better. But you can use whatever you have on hand. So that cashews go into the base of the blender. The next thing I like to add in when I'm doing a cheesecake is some nutritional yeast, and we've talked about this many times on the Facebook Live before. Nooch. This is a inactive byproduct of molasses making process, I believe. But it's typically high in B12 and got a little bit of plant-based protein in it, and it has a taste and a smell reminiscent of cheese. So I add it to a lot of my raw vegan cheeses. Today we did a blueberry version. So I put in a bunch of frozen blueberries. That's what's gonna be what gives us our fruity flavor, as well as some nice color. Coconut oil. And again, I will promise I will put this exact recipe in the comments today. For the sweetener for this one today, I used maple syrup. So this is just an organic maple syrup that I use here, product of Canada, but I bought it here in Costa Rica. Vanilla, you can't see it because it's in a black cup. This is vanilla extract once again. And the juice of a lemon, because this gives the cashews and the nutritional yeast that tang, that cheesy tang, that cream cheese tang that we miss. So I use that. And then for the extra bit of tang and cultured, like cheesy taste, I do two things. If I have it on hand, I do two things. One, vegan probiotic. So this is a 6 million acidophilus and bifidus. I would toss one of these guys in. I use that for a lot of time when I do vegan cheeses. And I also put in some kombucha. So I didn't have any actual kombucha on hand because I'm not really drinking it these days. But what I did have is, if you remember my kombucha Facebook Live, I had my starter and my SCOBY. And the SCOBY, if you recall, is the mother mushroom essentially that helps ferment kombucha. So I had this in the fridge here. SCOBY stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It doesn't sound very appetizing, but that's what we use for making kombucha. So instead, I just put in about 3 tablespoons of the liquid right into my base. I put it all in my blender until super, super creamy. And what do we end up with? But this beautiful, look at that, lush, creamy. Here, I'm gonna give you a try of this. I've already tasted it and I was super happy. Here, take the whole spoon. It's so good. Tastes like cheesy fermented goodness, right?
Tastes delicious.
Just a little bit sweet. Super good. So, now what? What do we do with all these amazing ingredients? Well, today what I chose to do was make little individual cheesecakes. La la la. So I have a 12 tray of muffins here that I've gone ahead and lined, and this I'm going to show you the process. So this one is not complete, obviously. So I've got my little bit of crust that I saved, and all I do is I press that down in. Doesn't need to be scientific or pretty because it's just going to be covered up. So there's the base. Then just pour some of this filling on top and then toss it in your freezer. Just like that. That's it. That's all. This was in the freezer for all of 45 minutes. It's not quite set. Then you serve this. Look at that. With some fresh strawberries, or you make yourself a really nice mango puree. Any other, like, really, this is quite rich. So a nice tart tropical sauce, like a mango passion fruit or a tart raspberry sauce, or even a chocolate drizzle would be super tasty with this. And that is all there is to it, my friends. Your vegan, putting those back in the freezer. Because they are frozen, it melts really, really fast. But that's all there is to it. Kenneth? What do you think?
Nice, delicious.
Dun 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 dun! Oh yeah, we can put some blueberries on top. Kenneth's on it. Tiffany, Lynn is watching. So good to see you, Tiffany Lynn. I miss your face as well. Juan Carlos Ramirez is watching. Sean Williams is watching. Gwen is saying I kill her. Denise Elliott says it looks yummy. So good. Sean's watching. Gwen is saying, yeah, baby. Jackie Warner saying hi. I got you meet me December. You and the food are epic. Jackie, so good to meet you. Okay, what are we at? 2:34. Just like that, we are done. 3 recipes in and out. Gonna post them in the comments. Next Sunday, miles of spirals. Noodles galore. That's what we're doing. I'm not sure what that's gonna mean. Maybe we'll do pasta from scratch. Probably not, because I'm not very good at that stuff. But we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do different sauces for noodles. We're gonna do spirals, whatever that means. In the meantime, guys, if you have any questions or any requests, any themes, topics that you'd like to see coming up in the next few Facebook Lives, shoot me a message here in the comments or privately on Facebook, Megan Wellness Culinary, or find me at Meg Pearson on Facebook or Instagram. If you try any of these recipes, please post pictures on Instagram, tag me, Map Wellness, I'd love to see. And we look forward to seeing you here next week, same time, same channel. In the meantime, tomorrow night, Jeff will be doing his live, I believe, which will be 7 p.m. Costa Rica time. And that's all I have to say about that. Kenneth and his blueberry covered fingers signing off. Have yourselves a beautiful week. Make some cheesecake. Life is short. Eat dessert first. This is what we're gonna have for lunch right now, but first I'm gonna have a salad just to balance things out. And then we're gonna eat all the cheesecake. Love you guys. Have a beautiful week.